the data. I'm gonna start copying and pasting. It's a way better idea.
They're terrible. Yeah, I like my I like my way better. Alrighty. I did do this. Let me show you. So let's start with the housekeeping first. It's the only thing I've done. So I haven't like done anything else. But I did download the videos as much as I could. I was working on this, but I didn't get to those last two. But I have kind of like around 4-ish posts ready to go.
Nice.
And it's under the same place as your stuff, so you wouldn't have to go too far for it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and all the videos are in here. So this video link is different than the video link that you have on your page. So the one that's under Brady should lead to a different folder. And then this is a different folder. That's all I have for now, just because it actually does take some time, because I'm not using my team to do this. I'm doing it myself. Really, any content that I'm creating for myself, I'm doing it myself. But yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, so and that's for the we should edit that. Yeah, where are we at on posting that? We decided on the 1st, right?
We decided tomorrow. That's why I did it. So the first one is just a picture of us. I'm going to take a picture of us later before we go on a Google Meet call. I think the biggest thing is just doing the actual logins. And I think I said I was going to take care of LinkedIn, and I was going to take care of doing the website, like just to get the thing. And then you were going to do YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I believe is what we had agreed on. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, as far as creating the accounts. Yep. Reminder, I need to put that front and center on my to-do list, actually.
Yeah, and then just let me know so I can log in, because it's gonna require 2FA. So I'm gonna need you to be online when we do it. Yeah. So as you create it, basically like just let me know when you're online. And then I just need to, unless you do a 2FA, but most of them require 2FA. So basically like you'll send me the login, and then once I log in, it will most likely require 2FA. So I will need you to.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so just authenticating, get you in. Yep, we can do that.
Yeah. And then I'll set up a 2FA on my backend, just put it on my authenticator. But I need you the first time.
Did we set up a Gmail yet? We were just going to use a Gmail.
We haven't set up a Gmail, so I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. I don't think we had somebody on Gmail.
I'm gonna do what I do and just make my. Oh wait. Oh yeah, I'll get a copy of the notes, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I've taken to doing this during meetings. I don't know if you do this. I literally will repeat myself out loud and say, okay, so just to note, I'm going to take on creating the Gmail account. I need to create the login for the Instagram. I need to create the login for the YouTube, and I need to create the login for the TikTok account. And then I will share all of the login information with you, and you and I will coordinate on getting the 2FA set up on that. That's the action item for me.
Love it.
And then it's in my notes, because then I'll just scrub it with my AI later, and I'll be like, what was I supposed to do? Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, now I know what I'm working on.
That's such a good idea. Yeah, because the thing is, the only ones that require the Gmail is everything you're authenticating. Like everything that I'm doing does not require a Gmail account, so it might be better if you do it.
Yeah, I'll just link them all together. It won't take that long.
Yeah, and then the LinkedIn, I'm just going to add you as an admin to it, because that's all it's going to do anyway. Like even for me, I would only be an admin to it, so that one's not a problem at all. Awesome. So yeah, I have the first one set for tomorrow. So just let me know whenever. If you don't get to the 2FA today, I'll be available pretty much at any time, especially since we have SEN. So we can also do it during when they're doing their intros. You can literally just like do the 2FA when I have that time. That's fine too.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. I was trying to think if I'm even going to make it on tomorrow.
Oh. Well, that would have been a good question first, wouldn't it?
I probably will, since it's 7 a.m. I'll just get up and do that. It's my wife's birthday, so I just marked it out.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not doing anything. But that one's like 7 a.m. Nobody else is going to be wanting to do anything at 7 a.m. So.
if you don't make it, it's totally fine. Like we can start on April 2nd. I'm totally like open that day. So like whenever you send it, it's also fine. Like this is not like we have to do it. I just gave us a deadline so that we would act. Because if not, we would not have acted.
We're going to start on the 1st. April Fools. We're going to start on the 2nd.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's like we were going to start on the 1st, but so yeah, please don't, like for me, birthdays are so important. So like, trust me, like do not put this. If your wife is awake at 7 a.m. and she wants to be with you, like, please, like, do not, do not. Yeah, do not jump on this call. Like birthdays from me are everything. So please tell her happy birthday from me as well.
I will. Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty low keyed about it, but at the same time, it's like, I want to make sure that I'm available because I will end up like letting something mess up my schedule or be like, I'm only going to work a little bit. And then I end up working all day on something. It's like, no, if I don't just cut it off and never open my email, I will end up doing something.
Yeah.
So, like, no, I expect you to work. And I was like, yeah, okay, but I'm not going to. So
you're so sweet. Yeah, no, for me, it's like, I like drop everything on my birthday. It's like, I do not work. I do not. So yeah, please, like, I totally forgot about it. So like, please don't, if you don't jump on. Like I blocked out my entire calendar on Thursdays. So like, if you just message me saying like I'm ready, I can do it anywhere. Like I just need my phone. I don't need anything else. So
okay.
Even if I'm not, like I can do it with you.
Well, I was gonna say I can probably get to it a little later this morning, but that's gonna be really late for you today. So
depends on how late. If you message me and I'm still up, I will message you back.
Yeah, I'll get all that set up then. And either way, I'll get it like teed up, and we can either knock it out tomorrow quick or Thursday. It's fine.
Yeah, Thursday. Whenever, really, as long as it's this week, even Friday, I don't care.
Okay,
I just
cool.
really wanted to give myself a deadline because honestly, I was working on that like right before my previous call before you, and then I worked on it during the call because it was a group call. And I was trying to finish those last two, and I was like, also, I have not been on LinkedIn. It's so bad. My last post was literally like take two. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like take two, like I can't remember what I said. It was like take two. I broke like my 90-day challenge.
Oh yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, like 5 days later, I haven't like posted anything.
Weird. I've noticed that just in general, like we set ourselves to a challenge and we do really good, right? And we're so determined. You break it once and you're just like, screw this. I'm off the rails now. Like I'm never coming back. Even if you want to, you mean to, there is something inherently human about us just being like, but I'm not gonna. It's never gonna happen again. See ya.
I mean, it is like I just created it. So if I shared this tab, it actually is like it has a lot of posts, and even here, there's a lot of like posts that are like pretty much ready. I'm just, God, I don't know what it is, but anyways, that's my own problem. But I haven't been on it, and so I actually haven't looked if you've done it.
I missed the last one. I was supposed to post on the 26th and just realized and I missed it. And I was like, dang it. It's because I didn't auto upload everything. So
yeah, did you ever figure out how to schedule?
Yeah. Actually, no, I haven't looked into it. That's the reason why I didn't do it, because I know it's easy. I just literally haven't taken the time to do it. I haven't even really been on my LinkedIn. I got on today because they were like, drop your LinkedIn in the networking thing. And I was like, oh yeah, shoot. And then I was like, oh shoot, I should probably get on this. I just missed a date.
I haven't done that
I'm
either.
not going to drop the ball on it. I will be uploading my content.
No, you're good. I just want to show you really quickly. So it's just right here, schedule post. And then you just like schedule it whenever, like.
Oh, so you just sit down on a block and you create each post individually, and then you just schedule it to launch whenever you want it to.
And then just schedule, and it'll schedule it. And then to view the scheduled post, you can click on that, but you can also click on this little thing, use all scheduled post, and then you can change it from here. So you can delete it, you can edit, you can post now. I'm gonna delete that because I don't want that coming out. But yeah, that's how you schedule. It's literally like super easy.
It's super easy. Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're good.
I didn't get stuck. I hadn't looked it up yet.
No, you're good. I just want to make sure. Because technically we can also do it for you. The only thing is you would need to have a scheduler, like an actual like outside scheduler where there's plenty. So if you want to go that option as well, totally can just let me know.
Cool. No worries. I mean, all I got to do is basically copy and paste the thing and then click the little schedule date button. It's really, no.
But you know, that's actually one of the hardest things. Like that's why mine never goes out, because it's literally, it's going to live in that document I just showed you. And then like, I'm going to like mull over it and mull over it and mull over it. And then it's like, please take a screenshot, put it in like Slack, tell your team to schedule it. Because when you schedule it, you just keep looking at it again and again and again. And it just sits there. So like I said, if you want my team to schedule it, it's really not a big deal at all. If you would like, there's a scheduler that I really love. It's called Planable. We've never used it. I've played around with it so much, but I still prefer the native schedulers, but it's actually really, really good. And I might actually play around with that for We Should Edit That. Because it's
Nice.
really,
Yeah, that could be good.
yeah.
Random question. Do you have siblings?
I have step siblings, but I don't have like normal, and I didn't grow up with them. Like they're so old. I mean, they're just kind of siblings.
Got it. Okay. So basically an only child.
Kind of, yeah.
That makes sense.
Why?
Something you were saying, and then you were just talking about mulling it over and mulling it over and mulling it over, triggered the personality. I don't know. I'm weird like that I'm always accidentally recognizing patterns, and I'm not autistic. I took the test. I'm not autistic.
Just ADHD.
Silly ADHD, but not autistic. I didn't get the superpower kind of anything. But I met somebody the other day at an in-person networking meeting, and she was talking about her business and starting up her business and all of the things. And then she was like, well, and just the words she was using. And then she was like, yeah, I have, what did she say? I have 3 siblings. And I was like, you're the 3rd child, right? And she's like, how did you know? And I was like, well, honestly, it was this, it was this, it was this, it was this, it was this. And it was this whole like, I want to do this right. I don't want to screw it up. This is my one shot. I was like, that tends to happen in a larger family when you feel like by the time you're the 3rd child, it's like, this is my one shot. I'm not getting another shot at this. I didn't go into that much detail, but I was like, oh, I could tell just because of the way you said this, and that, and the way you're approaching your business. Because I have noticed those patterns in working with people who are really, it makes sense that you're quasi only child because you're a lot more organized and you know how you want it. And it's not like, I don't know how I want it. You're like, no, I know how I want it. And I know what's not hitting what I want and how I want it and when I want it. I'll mull it over for myself and I'll hit that stall point where I'm just like, I need to do that. I need to do that. But it's not for lack of clarity. And I know what I want out of this. Whereas the 3rd child's like, I know what I want, but I really hope I don't screw this up. And I'm not sure it's ready yet. Right. There's a differentiation in, I don't know, birth orders or number of siblings or lack thereof tend to influence that. I've discovered in adults now, looking forward, I have a client who's running an architecture firm. And, the more he talked about his family, I was like, okay, there's that pattern again. This makes sense. Like what you're doing, your personality, and afraid to break into this field, even though you are the expert in this field. So people are looking to you to lead. Yeah, I don't know, totally random side tangent, but I was.
Isn't it always random side tangents?
Yeah. Do we ever actually pick a topic and stick to it? No. So, okay.
That's why I also didn't decide anything today.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting. I do want to say something about that because I've never thought about it from like a business perspective, but it is very apparent when you're traveling. Because the thing is, I know I'm an only child and I can spot only childs in personalities not related to business. So the fact that you can do it with business is pretty interesting because I can't. Like I couldn't tell what you are. But if you like just know me from like a personality perspective, it's like a lot of only childs, they're super spoiled. Like in a way of like you just get what you want because there's only one of you. Whereas like if there's 2 of you or 3 of you or multiple of you, it's like it's so much harder to get that. And so it's like when someone talks, it's like a lot of people can spot like that I'm an only child, mostly because my parents spoil me like crazy.
Like I just go do and whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, and that's not necessarily a bad thing too, because that's the other part about it. And the conversation I was having with this gal for all of 5 minutes And so I just had to tell her, I was like, this isn't your one shot. You've just started your business. You're brand new at this. You're going to screw it up. Like you will. But if you want to keep going, you have that option. It does not disqualify you. Because when you're, the third child in a family of 4, you're positioning for resources. Literally. Like psychology and anyway, you're positioning for resources. So I've got to get this right. This could be my one window. And it's like, that's not how business works. Yeah, it could be really painful if you screw it up, and it's going to be. I've screwed a lot of things up a lot of times. People are like, aren't you consulting with people and helping them in their business? So I was like, yes. And that's why I dropped the ball in mine, because I'm working in everybody else's. If I could stay organized for me, I probably wouldn't be working in everybody else's, honestly.
Dude, the amount of everything, every energy it takes for me to create my own content is absolutely insane. It's crazy how much more energy it takes for me to create my own content. And that's mind-blowing to me. Even creating your content is, I feel like, easier than creating mine sometimes. It shouldn't.
So far, so good. I did change one line on that last post I put up. Something
Okay, which one? Let me know where.
Yeah. Actually, I can just pull it up.
It's good for me to know because, like I said, now's the time to, for sure, tell me so I don't keep going in that direction.
My camera, I don't know if it's Google Meet or my camera. It sucks. Everything I do is blurry.
Like, what do you mean?
Like
you?
Video quality. Yeah.
Or your screen recording. I think it's more the fact that you're using a background.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to play around with removing your back, that's why I don't use backgrounds anymore. Although, I do try. I usually record from the other spot where I have the nice background, but this couch is so comfy. But then I'm just like, you know what? I don't need a fancy background. I just need to be comfortable.
Yeah, fair. Oh, yeah, it was just this part.
You were going to share your screen.
Yeah, it will never resonate with the clients you're trying to bring the most value to. That's all I did, is just reframe that, bringing value to them instead of selling them. I think it was selling them.
Where you at? Which one?
Just on the Spark post. I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, I thought you were going to. Actually.
I didn't know if it was worth the effort because I was just gonna read it off.
I couldn't find it.
There we go. Got like 10 LinkedIn's up right now because I was just, like I said, I was just on a meeting. Oh, just right here. All I did was rephrase this context a little bit. So trying to bring the most value to, because I think you had something like biggest sales or something like that, which wasn't wrong. I just flipped the narrative a little bit. Instead of them coming to me, I'm going to them.
Got it.
Okay. Otherwise, yeah, really subtle change. I liked it. I thought it was great.
Sounds
I like
great.
this. I'm starting to use these actually more. This equals this, this equals this. Yeah. And I noticed
that was, I think, Notebook LM's idea.
Spark values, mission, brand, company, clients, revenue. Because revenue is always a byproduct.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gets that.
Now I'm glad that you're liking these because I'm really, and Alex and a lot of people, even Michael, has literally told me, it's why won't you do personal brands? And I've always just had such a hard time with them because of the tone of voice. But honestly, now with all of the AIs out there, Notebook LM, just in general, is insane. And I know you talked about Claude as well, which is something I wanted to talk to you about today. What are you using for Claude right now? Because I know you mentioned last time.
What am I using it for?
How are you using it? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't use it in the same sense that I used to ask ChatGPT stuff. Mm-hmm. Now I actually more or less use ChatGPT for data query. Claude I'll use for more specific things because I find that it's a lot more detailed. So if I need detail in things, that's what I'll use Claude for. And it's not that I want it to do a lot of heavy lifting for me. Yesterday, I wrote out an entire audit on somebody's brochures, actually, because it was part of what we're working on with their whole business brand and positioning and their brand voice. And they're like, hey, I need to order new ones of these. So I did a whole audit, wrote it out, and I was like, okay, this is just rough notes and it's ugly. But then I put it into Claude and I was like, don't change my voice, don't change even my wording, but here's how I need it to flow, and boom, 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 boom. And it formatted the whole thing for me really well. So that I could hand that over to the designer, because she is a designer, ironically. And it was like, this is, section by section, which was how my notes were, but my notes weren't that detailed. So I'm able to just kind of brain dump it and close the gap on what I'm trying to do. The same as I was trying to articulate something that I had in a meeting, and it wasn't a task. It was something about me. I was working on like some internal clarity for my business. And so I was like, okay, so take this transcript and I want you in your own words to try to describe me and understand what it is that I do in the context of this consult and conversation. And it was like, oh, okay, so from what I'm seeing, you're this and you do this, and this is how you do this. And it pulled out a bunch of methodology that I was like, perfect. I needed to be able to put that into words because I know that's what I do, but I needed that lens and that perspective. Basically, I was using it as like a me for me.
Right.
So I was like, okay, take this and articulate it. And it did, which ChatGPT just gives the same watered down stuff. I like ChatGPT for certain things. I'll use it for certain like technical analysis, which is great because it's a search engine. It's just data query. But if I tell it to create, a brand narrative that's at least 3 pages, and then I dump a bunch of content in it, it gives me the same watered down crap that I get other people sending me going, this is our marketing plan. I'm like, this is stupid because it sounds the same as the other company that gave me their stupid document that is a really dumb marketing plan.
Yeah, you said that last time. And I'm just wondering, are you using Claude Chat, Claude Cowork, or Claude Code?
Claude Sonnet is the one I'm currently using.
But on chat.
Yeah.
Are you using Claude Cowork or Claude Code at all?
No, I haven't tried it. Is it any good?
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you something. We've never had a website. Our website has always sucked. We've always had a problem with our messaging. It's just completely sucked. It's just, I've always hated it. I was gonna hire somebody to create our website. And I'm going down this deep, insane rabbit hole on Claude Code, really more than anything. Claude Cowork is easier to understand, but if you take the time to understand Claude Code, it's absolutely mind-blowingly, just ridiculously insane. And I love that I'm one of the first movers for this, because a lot of people who are using AI, it's like, man, this thing's smart. So I'm going to share this with you.
Claude is amazing. I have somebody I know who's develops software.
Mm-hmm.
He uses Claude. He was showing me this. It was about 1.5 years ago. He and I got together. And he pays for like the really data intensive plan. So, but it built out a whole module in his software, and he's like, that cost me about 30 cents. Like it's charging him as he's using the data. But it's phenomenal. So that was my first experience with it. And I was like, I don't need anything that heavy lift. Well, they've made it a lot more user friendly for people that don't. So is this your sticker website?
Yeah, so this is the Claude that released like 2 months ago is different from anything else that's ever released. So I redid like our entire branding because I didn't love the yellow. So I stuck with 2 colors plus like the 2 backgrounds. I also changed to a white background. It did the entire website, including the copy. Like every copy in here is from Claude Code. And it's actually in a lot of ways quite good. It like literally took everything, and it's still a pretty basic website, but way more than I could have ever imagined or dreamt or built for myself. And not only that, and the pricing I'm still working on, but not only that, but like this blog post right here, I ran it through an AI software, like an AI, like this AI software, and I ran it through a plagiarism software, and it like scored so low. It's absolutely insane. And like, if you click on like any of them, so like this one released today, like on a schedule. So like I touch that. And then if you click on any of these, it really sounds normal. Like on LinkedIn right now, scroll for about 30 seconds, you'll see the same advice. I mean, this one probably could use a bit of work, but you know, if you're looking up, this is how it works. Nobody talks about this when they push personal brand narrative. Some of them are a little bit still, but a lot of it really are like very much like natural. Like it's absolutely insane. And I just started playing with this, like a dead page versus a half-assed page, right? It's like something I would say. Like it's not like
Yeah.
and everything here was created by Claude Code. And all of this, including the blog posts, there's like, I think like 16 now, and there's stuff in the pipeline. So this is releasing, like I said, on schedule. Do you want to guess how long this took?
I'm guessing this took you like 45 minutes to build the whole thing.
No, that's too little. Because I was still learning Claude as well. But it took like, I would say if you combined everything like resource wise, and if you like added it all up, I would say like 8 hours total.
That's still not bad. So I didn't know that you hated your current website because you guys just did a full rebrand right before you and I met.
Yeah.
But you hated
I mean, I don't even know where I put the thing now because I think I put it here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, and I obviously paid a lot of money for it. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one.
I have a client that paid $10,000 for a website that never got delivered.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like it was too, because we're also doing outreach right now. And so we're doing a lot of outreach to professional businesses. And I'm just like, it just feels so childish. There's too many colors. I feel like it's just all over the place. I can't.
Honestly, it's the pencil. It's the little yellow number 2 pencil situation. It's very Schoolhouse Rock meets Magic School Bus meets everything that we grew up with in the 90s.
Exactly. And even like the sticky notes and everything. I think it's a great concept, but it felt like me, sure. Yeah, like I'm very childish in a lot of ways, but I need to be able to meet my customers halfway. And so I got rid of the yellow, stuck with these 2 colors. And then also changed the white to this, like a little bit more closer to this color. But all of that also like Claude Code did. So that's the thing as well. It's like 8 hours was including literally everything, including deciding like what it is that I wanted and working with it and making sure that this was the colors that, would actually work together and I'm happy with it and et cetera. So
is your page hard coded or are you going through like a host?
Netlify.
So you had Claude like create something that you could embed into it?
No, so basically it's going through GitHub. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but it's going through GitHub and then it's pushing it to Netlify, and then Netlify is using the hosting from DreamHost so that I can have the stickypost.social URL.
Okay, that feels complicated, but it's working. So I'm all for it at the time.
Like 8 hours included the learning time to learn how to I'm literally like asking chat like how do I do it? I'm taking screenshots and I'm like, okay, what do I click on now?
Yeah. No, I'm totally for it. That's actually really good. Yeah, I had Claude build out and I wasn't even using Claude Code. I was just using the chat and it was like, here, I built out a page for you. And I was like, okay, cool. I couldn't embed it because I'm just hosting through GoDaddy. And so it's all drag and drop, plug and play, right? And so it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And so I told it, it's because it's like, what version are you using? Because sometimes you can embed. And I was like, yeah, I'll just, if I can copy and paste my code and drop it in, because this actually hit really well, which was really impressive. So if I was using any other sort of site or hosting my own and actually hard coded my site, then I could just copy the HTML and dropped it in and it would have worked, which is just mind blowing because you used to have to, basically work for several years to be able to have that level of coding experience. And the fact that I can just copy and paste, I was like, that's amazing. Now I couldn't in my case just because of my host. And so it was like, okay, so use this, here's your copy, use that, use this box, use that. And then it just basically walked me through how to build it on my own without having to be like, what do I want to do with this? I was like, okay, cool. Like I am for that. So yeah, it's definitely a give and take with AIs because AIs should never think for us, but using it as a tool like that, can you help me do this tangible task and build a website? Yes. Hey, can you help me write a blog? Yes, I'm all for that, actually. Here's my voice, here's my topics, here's my points. So it's funny you mentioned that you've always avoided personal brands. I've helped people with their personal brands and build them out. I like working on the personal brands almost more than I like working on the business brands. because business brands is like, okay, I get it. You do a product, you do a service, you sell some shit, and you do some things for people, and you want them to pay you more money. It's like we're all doing that, and it's just my cynicism at this point. I'm like, it's so watered down. I was having an awesome conversation with somebody at a legal firm. They do a lot of IP and integration and stuff like that. And she was like, this was totally her analogy, so I told her I wouldn't steal it. But she's like, I feel like everything in the world of business right now is just one big community soup. And I was like, interesting. Like everybody's bringing a little bit of something of theirs, but it's all going into this big pot. And then everybody's just like scooping out their cup of soup and being like, hey, everybody, come join my webinar. Come taste how good my soup is. $50, an entry for my webinar. It's like everybody's scooping from the same pot of soup. And I was like, oh my gosh, now I can't not see everything through the community soup lens. And I emailed her the other day. I was like, I'm seeing everything through the community soup lens. Thanks a lot for that.
Once you see it, you can't go back.
Yeah. And it's not even a rant against AI because I use it for a lot of stuff that does a lot of tasks for me that I needed to do. Like I was saying, I wrote that audit brief for those designs and I was like, okay, cool. This is what's not, because I was like, something's off. And so I sat with it. And it took me a good hour and a half to sit there and edit their designs and do this stuff. And I'm not a designer. They're actually a graphic designer. But I was like, here's the story you're trying to tell. Here's the visual flow. Here's what's going on. And then the sad part is I spent an hour and a half worth of work, had it format the thing in like 5 minutes. And then I recorded a Loom for another 5 minutes, literally just screen sharing. And I was like, hey, so I just wanted to walk you through because things get lost in translation when you're reading a document. So rather than jump on a video call with her, I was like, here's a Loom. This is everything. This is what I think. This is my opinion. This is what I would do moving forward and execute like this, this, and this. And then I wrapped it up and I was like, that felt weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's like, I don't know, like the reason that I brought it up is because, so the reason I brought up like personal branding and Claude and AI in general is it's so much easier to do personal branding now than you could have ever done before. Because the thing is, when I started freelancing, when I started this business, it really took so much time to be able to study things, like to study someone's tone of voice, to study someone's company. And I enjoyed that with company pages because it was actually easier. Like it's so much harder to study one person, right? And now it's like, even just, let's say not even Claude, which I'm still tinkering out how to figure out how to get Claude to like actually do the actual tone of voice. I think Notebook LM is still better for it. It's just my personal opinion, because Notebook LM literally just pulls from what I'm giving it. So I'm literally just dumping whatever we're recording and I'm saying, do not include anything that we say like we don't want included. Only focus on Brady. Do not look at anything that I've said. And then it just spits out everything you've said. So it's like, it's freaking amazing. So, like Notebook LM is great for personal branding. And if I can get Claude Code to like do that, but more automated, that would be even more amazing. But it's fine. Like Notebook LM does the job perfectly fine. But I think the reason I brought it up is just, I do keep thinking about it. And it's like, well, the landscape has changed. And this is something Alex said. It's not even my thoughts. Alex told me this. And she said, the landscape is changing. Like, it's so much easier to do like personal brands now. And in a lot of ways, it's so true. Because like I said, I just pop in our conversation into Notebook LM and just kind of go with it. And even on the we should edit that, which I called WSET in one of the drop downs, but we should edit that WSET. I was trying to figure out the acronym for it, but that's what it ended up being.
That is true. WSET.
I feel like you have a problem with that.
Here on the dub set, not a podcast.
Wait, what?
We should edit that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, WSET.
Yeah.
The dub set conversation. WSET.
Dub set? I don't understand that part. Is it the US dub like B dubs? Like
yeah, like W. That's yeah.
Okay.
You've never heard anybody reference a W with the term dub.
I mean, just B dub, like Buffalo Wild Wings, like B dubs, but like
yeah,
that's it. Like that's the
maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's me. You never know.
I knew somebody, their dog's name was Walter, and they called him Dub because it was always started with a W, but nobody actually wants to say W, and so everybody just shortens it to Dub. And so they would just call their dog Dub, even though his name was Walter.
I don't think the dog is no
Probably.
longer Walter. If you call that dog Walter, it would not respond to you. Okay. The name is not Walter. But okay, let them believe that the dog's name is Walter.
He was a horrible dog anyway.
All dogs are adorable.
Oh no, he was horrible. He was kind of adorable when he was a puppy. He was a weird Chihuahua pug mix. It did not turn out well. It did not turn out well.
Oh,
it was his
gosh.
personality that was the problem more than anything.
Oh, well, yeah, I got scared of most Chihuahuas when they're working at me. So.
Yeah.
But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the
Personal brand.
Yeah. What?
The W said.
Yeah. But before that, because I was also a sidetrack and I couldn't remember.
Well, you're talking about Alex saying, pointing out how it's more doable to create personal brands now than ever.
Right. Thank you. You're much better at that than I am. That is the one place where I just get lost. It's like I'll talk and like I'll just if I don't know what I'm saying anymore, it's gone into the ether. But yeah, like I think it's just like, especially with Notebook LM. And the reason I really decided to do it with you is just because we're spending so much time. But I have so much content on you, on just what your business is and everything. And obviously I'm getting I love our conversations. And so it's like, but I don't know, I just feel like, yeah. Oh, that's what I was saying. But on the stir, I don't know why I keep saying stir because it's for the we should edit that. But for the we should edit that, I used Gemini to write the captions, which is kind of really terrible. I would not keep doing that. It's just for something like I just needed something to go out and I just needed something quick, fast, and easy. But even for that, it's like AI is just I'm not even writing from even the copy editing. It's so much faster now. Like I still edit the copy for anything AI generates, but it's so much faster than when it was when it first came out. It's insane.
No, it is. Yeah.
So
well,
yeah,
it's we're on a really weird precipice right now, societally in business, because it's not just the rant that everything's watered down. It's the problem that it is accurate. That's kind of the problem now. We're not even having to put as much thought into it. We're not having to create the content. You're not spending hours. And I spent, an hour and a half, like I said, working on that project. But most of the heavy lift on that would have been writing it all out and formatting the document and making sure that it all flows. And it's like, is this legible? Do you understand this? Is this? Instead, I can delegate that in a matter of 45 seconds. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Don't change any of this. Do change this, create this. And I need it to have a user flow so that the person can take it and use it as a design brief instruction manual.
Yeah.
Sure, here you go. 45 seconds later, I get a throughput document. It's like, here it is. And I make 4 tweaks to it because I'm like, oh, I don't want that in there. No, that looks like AI. Oh, yeah, that looks like AI too. And I almost put I debated this. I almost put my rough draft in a separate document tab when I sent it over to her. Because I wanted it clean and legible, but at the same time, I was like, I want you to see the thought process and the methodology that actually went into building this thing. But then I was like, that's probably not a value add because it literally did look like a serial killer note because I would copy and paste text from our website and from this and screenshots, and I just made a running working document compilation all the way down. And I was like, this doesn't look professional whatsoever. But I was like, damn, the methodology is actually really solid in it, and I kind of missed that. But I don't know what to do with that because we've all escalated to the point where we can't afford to slow down and do that anymore.
No. And I mean, even, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was the end of
it. I heard us talk at the same time. No, but even and I understand what you're saying because even with creating content, right? I don't know what happened to I don't know, I disappeared. But even with creating content, I think even for us, the reason that we can do so much, we have another company in the healthcare space and they do tutoring and they have a lot of captions that I would never understand. Like it's, test things for for medical stuff, which I don't even know if it's correct. And so they do check that to make sure that it's accurate. But it's like AI does so much of the heavy lifting for us that it's like there was no way for me to know if what we said was correct or not. Like zero. I know nothing about it. My team knows nothing about it. And the only way that we could have even taken this client on is because of AI. If it wasn't for that, there's no way. Like there's no way I'm willing to sit through like quizzes and
No,
like
you can't. That's the irony is you can't become proficient in everything. I was actually just joking. I have a client that's a CPA firm, and he was like, this industry, oddly enough, is not regulated at all. I was like, yeah, I can actually go get a P10 and start preparing taxes for a fee. And he's like, you should not do that. And I was like, I agree. I was like, ChatGPT, man, we'll get your tax return done.
Yeah.
Because we were actually working on a employee issue, and I was like, I don't think this person actually knows anything about what they're doing. I think they lied on their resume and actually intended to use AI to do their job. I hope you didn't find out. And he was like, I think that's exactly what's happening. I was like, yeah, that's the scary part. On the one hand, it's like we've got a lot of people that have no business messing with a lot of really technical data. On the other hand, I'm not going to spend hours searching compliance like I used. Like people used to be like, well, you just Googled it before. Like everybody's lazy. It's like I would spend hours trolling documents, verifying sources, looking at the white paper on everything and trying to figure out if it's accurate and can I put that out there for very, very little output. Let's be honest.
Right.
Now I can say, hey, this is a document brief I've written up in regards to this firm, this area, this thing, this blah, blah, blah. Check it for compliance in regards to this state and according to national codes on this, that, and the other. And I can assume beyond a pretty reasonable doubt that it's actually going to be compliant because now it's checking databases. It's not my opinion on anything. It's saying, yeah, okay, this is out of compliance and here's why, according to this source. And then I go, okay, update that, boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. Now we have a fully vetted compliant document that is going to meet this code or that. I couldn't do that in 9 months of study.
No.
Because that's somebody else's area of expertise and that's not what they're hiring me for. I am helping them navigate their business. They're the expert in it. He's the tax preparer charging $7,000 a return because he spent 20 years in the industry and he knows that he can save his people, $100,000. So $7,000 is just a small fee. It's like, okay, I don't have to be an expert at what he does. I have to be an expert in how he's doing things. I have to be an expert at business. I have to be an expert at his messaging. I have to be an expert at how he's trying to create his employee structures and what that needs to look like. I need to be an expert at helping him infuse his personal brand into his company culture because that's what he was literally running into. It finally came right down to it because he's like, I keep getting these horrible hires and all of this stuff in our culture just sucks. And finally, I asked him like some really weird, really raw, I was going to say weird, some really raw questions. And we ended up getting really, really deep down a rabbit hole where he was talking about literally talking people off a ledge and in the position he's in financially where people were ready to commit suicide so that their family could collect their life insurance kind of thing because he's so deep into people's finances. And I was like, you're not conveying any of this. And he's like, but I want to. He's like, not those stories, but how much I care. I really need people to understand. And I was like, you're not conveying any of that into your business. And that is the problem that we're running into because everybody assumes that a CPA firm is just full of assholes that aren't human. They just care about numbers, retroactively filing what the government wants to hear. I was like, what's really going on is you genuinely care about humanity and are trying to do it with the best you can with the tools and the skill sets you've taken 20 years to develop. And he's like, that's it. I was like, that's what we're going to be working on. That's what we're going to build for your business. But you don't have that aspect. So you got somebody that's just like, yeah, pay me $10,000 a month. And like, who gives a shit? I'll make sure the returns get prepared. I was like, is that who you want in your business? He's like, absolutely not. I don't want anybody like that anywhere near my business. I was like, so it's not really a staffing problem. It's a company culture problem. And it's a company culture problem because we have an identity and clarity problem. We have an identity and clarity problem is because you're keeping who you are separate from your business. And so when you're like, I have a point to this entire rant. So when you're like, I've never wanted to work with personal brands because it's, what did you say? It's so much cleaner or simpler or makes so much more sense to work on the company side. And it does, arguably it absolutely does. But the reason why I do this, but I love doing the personal brand is because you have to give people a reason to care.
Yep.
regardless of whether they're a client or an employee or a vendor or anybody that you are establishing any sort of interaction and transaction with. Give them a reason to care. Because if they don't care, none of it's really going to matter that long at the end of the day. I was talking to some insurance brokers about this. There's, it was actually a really cool product. And I never thought I'd say that about insurance. But I was like, they're like, so you get this? And I was like, totally get this. And this makes perfect sense. It was related to taxes, actually. They found a loophole in the tax code that they could actually write off the insurance and people actually get benefits and the employers get to save on it and nobody's out of pocket anything. In fact, they save a couple bucks. And I was like, I'm 100% for this.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, so it's actually this. You're not selling insurance. It's actually this. And they were like, yeah. I was like, you have to give people a reason to care or nobody will give a shit.
For sure. I do think that there is a way to give company pages life that other people just don't see. I think I think for me, it's just more, I just don't want it to be one specific voice. Like
No.
if somebody wrote for me, I'd be like, no, I hate that. It's like, no, like that's why I do all of my own writing still to this day. But if I were to write for the company, like my team writes for the company, and sometimes I'm just like, I know it sucks, but like I don't care because it's not my, like, it's not attached to me. It's not attached to one singular thing, even though I own it. It's not attached to me, and so it could still be okay. It's not my voice, but it's our voice. It's our team's voice. It's the people in the company's voice and the culture that we've built and what we're building and who we're serving. And, and I think there's a layer to that that's really quite interesting.
Mhm.
But I definitely want to maybe at some point branch out into personal branding in some ways again, like try it again and see, because I know like that there is a lot more return on it for sure, especially if you can nail it down.
Mhm.
But as of right now, like our entire messaging is company pages. So I'm like, I'm going to stick with that.
No, you should. You would have to rebrand in order to rebrand. I think that most people are not aware of the difference between a personal brand and a company brand, though, especially when it comes to the small business owner. So you do have that caveat and loophole you can lean on. For instance, I was helping a business systems company try to tighten up their branding and their messaging because they're like, everything's so disconnected. And I was like, this has taken me months just to learn what you guys do. And their internal team, I think I've gone off on this before, and their internal teams were saying the same thing. Like, yeah, it took me 6 months before I really understood what we offered. I'm like, that's a huge problem.
That's terrible.
So the owner was like, well, like, I'm the spokesperson for the company. How do I get myself out there? Is a personal brand even important? And I told her, yes, it absolutely is. Like, we're not going to get hung up on this for years, but yes. So that was one of the most effective design outlines I actually ever gave them, was her personal brand outline. Because the company one, to be honest, I'm still kind of lost. I was like, you guys are still trying to sell and include too much stuff. Like, what you do is really cool and it's good, but people don't get it. And if people don't, because if you're like, we sell this and we sell that and we sell that. And I would constantly say, okay, so this product lineup through this company. And they were like, no, that's through our other branch. And I was like, that doesn't, like, we can't. But the interface on how she was the face of the entire ecosystem, right, of their company, that made sense. That I could totally bridge that gap. And because she's like, well, I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm not trying to build a personal brand. I'm like, no, you have to build a personal brand. And no, you're not trying to be an influencer, but you're flying out to conferences. You're going to these networking events. You're talking to other company owners. They don't want to call your representative number. They want to talk to you. So you have to have a personal brand. And then people need to understand how your personal brand relates to your company brand. And so that's the gap we're going to fill. And so that was actually fantastic. That was one of the best, not the best project I ever delivered, but in regards to that client, I was like, that actually ended up being one of the best things that I created for them. And they were kind of dismissing it the whole time. They loved it. They were like, I don't even understand. Like, this is spot on, because you have to, and it was just through the meetings I had with her and understanding what she was going for the company. It's like, we can solve pain points and problems and make things more efficient all day long. But if people don't know why, it's that old cliche saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to understand where somebody's coming from, because if it's just, we sell a better software, we sell a better CRM, buy our shit because it's better than the other people's shit. It's like nobody cares anymore. Literally nobody cares. And maybe I'm just, again, cynical, but it's like I've seen software and software and software and software. Now AI is out AIing AI, and it's like it's an amazing tool. We should be using it. But at the same time, everybody's now an AI expert, and I'm selling a better AI software. It's like they're all pretty good. It just depends on what you use it for. It's like Gemini is good for one thing, but it sucks at another. ChatGPT is good for data analysis, but it sucks at most other things. Claude is becoming really very good at a lot of things, but Claude doesn't pick up a lot of emotion and personal brand quite as well.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, but it can capture voice, which
Yes.
I'm really interested about. But yeah, like I will say, like I have a subscription to all of them just because I do use them for all things. And yeah, I think AI is just getting crazier. I would love to have like a guest conversation with somebody who does dabble into AI a lot more as well. I don't know if we'd call them an AI expert, but who dabbles into.
Unless you programmed it, you're not an AI expert. So teaching it what's like, everybody's like, I train your GPT. I'm like, I could have my GPT train my GPT. That doesn't make you an AI expert. Like,
Yeah, no.
Everybody's scrambling for position at this point.
Oh, for sure. But no, I was gonna actually talk to you about when do we want to schedule our next one? Guests, if we want to talk about that, like when and or who should we think about it? And I think we should, because I really enjoyed it when Stephen was on. And then I also have a proposition for you of just like maybe just using like one of these sessions that we're doing for me to just be able to ask you questions, just to kind of like do the partnership thing. Now it's not complicated, and we still use it as content unless I say something that's just like, no, like we're not going to use that. Then, but for the most part, I'm super open to.
Cool. No, I'm totally down with it. And actually, I was thinking along the same lines, because I was like, we haven't talked a lot about your business, and I get the feeling like you want to, and we should. And I'm for it because it works for me either way to do that.
It does, because it's like if people will see how you work, and
people will see how I work, but at the same time, it's just where my head and my mode is in all the time. So it's like I have to refrain from talking about things when I'm, in other arenas that have nothing to do with work, because it's like I tend to look at things that way. Somebody kept telling me, they're like, "Oh yeah, you pattern map." I met somebody that was even more neurotic than I am, and she has a neuroscience degree and decided to. I ran into her a few months ago, and she's like, "I do this," and I was like, "That's weird because I do that." And we described ourselves the same way, and she was like, "I thought I made it up." And I was like, "You did, because I made it up." I was like, "That's how I know you actually made it up, because nobody else is saying what we're saying." And so we started comparing notes, and I was like, "This is weird." But she's super technical, because she literally has a neuroscience degree and was going to go into the whole field, and was like, "I don't like that." And so, what was I saying? Pattern mapping. So that's actually how that kind of comes out. So no, it's not to say like, sure, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other to me. It's like, sure, I'm really happy to do that, because I actually want to make sure that we're bringing value to what you're trying to accomplish in the arena that works best for you. And if it's using our calls to do that rather than carving out extra time to do that, and that works better for you, that's what I'm actually trying to say, is I'm 100% here for it. That works for me. I can make that shift easy, and we can focus on your business and not just conversations, because I can shift what I do too and not go on weird side tangents and rabbit trails. And
well, I think
like the community soup that I just heard about.
Well, I think because it's not a podcast, right? Like we could rotate between like guests, and then maybe once, like let's say in a given month, right? A guest, and then and it's starting to have like a formula, but it doesn't have to follow this formula. I'm just spitting out things since it's really not a podcast. But like a guest, and then like a thing for me, and then maybe even like a thing for you, right? Because I haven't really fully asked you like what are your, like I haven't like done a thing where it's like, I know you've told me, but it's like we've never gone down like a full deep down rabbit hole of like what we want even for the social media for we should edit that, and even like what you want for your social media, so we could have one of those. And then another one or another two where it's just like we're doing what we just did today, which is just like one can be like super random, because today was like super random. We just literally tacked on everything.
We had less
And
of a thing than normal.
way more random than usual. So, and then one where we actually have a topic, right? So it could just be like a mixture of everything, and then we'll just see how it works. But that's why it's not a podcast, because it's like we can just do whatever the fuck we want to. So,
Sounds good.
but it's actually gone a lot better because the people that I did hire, I have calls with them all the time. So I now have people to talk to, which is great. So it's actually lowered down a lot of my anxiety. But a lot did happen in like the last, let's say, couple of months, but for sure the last month and for sure the last 2 weeks
Right.
that I've literally just been like, I have like still like I have no idea what I'm doing in a lot of sense. I like stay positive in many, many, many ways, which is amazing. But it's like sometimes I'm just like, man, like if I could just like map this, like at least like the feeling side of things, because I'm doing like the sales and marketing with them, but the feeling side of things, it's like, a huge part of it is like with my team and things like that. Or I'm just like, man, like it's taking everything I have not to resent my team right now.
Oh, yeah, that's real. Yeah. I get that.
So, things like that. So I don't know if you want to do that for a topic for next week. It'll be good content too, because I'm sure a lot of people will resent their teams.
Tons of people do. I remember when I was in the thick of it with people management, and I just had my first daughter, and I came back to work, and a coworker looks at me. We're standing there in the break room, and he looks at me and he goes, "I bet it's really nice to get back to work, and get a break from that crying baby." And I literally looked around the production floor, and I looked back at him and I said, the difference is at home I only have one. I was like, so not really. In fact, I'd rather be there with her. And he was like, "Oh, that's fair." Because everybody's just like, you feel like you're running an adult daycare most of the time.
You are running an adult daycare. So yeah, and there's just been a lot that's happening. Like a lot of, we talked about expectations and standards, which I'm racing even higher and higher. And, it's like, there's just so many things like in my head and my voice where I'm just like, as of right now, the company's doing fine because we're really not adding any clients. We didn't add any clients for this month.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like we add any client and it's like, could we handle it? Like it is something gonna break?
Okay, yeah, we need to dive into that. So that's not just people management, that's processes and operations as well, which you can't have processes and operations without people. So you're looking at it at a capacity issue, but you don't have a lot of confidence in your team because you're wondering who's going off the rails and what's going to break.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I think like maybe I just hired wrong from the very beginning, which is like a really hard pill to swallow also. And so it's like, I don't know, I'm just wrestling with a lot of things right now. And I think that's why I'm putting everything, like all of my energy into AI, because are you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't know why I froze, but like, yeah, I'm putting everything into AI because like, I feel like AI is making me so happy right now. Cause if I ask it to do something, it just does it. With my team, it's like, this person's sick. This person made a mistake, another mistake again. I'm just like, I'm tired, guys. Like, just do what you need to do. Stop bothering me. If you lose another client, I don't even give a shit at this point. Like, do what you need to do. Like, lose a client, don't lose a client, keep the client. I don't give a fuck. Like, do what you need to do. Stop bothering me. That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
Which is bad.
No, I get it. It's burnout is what it is, but it's not just burnout. Like, oh, I'm tired and there's a lot going on. It's okay. I'm not sure which way to aim because I have been aiming in every different direction and everything is still on fire and falling apart. I describe it this way. You can run around a room trying to put out fires in the different corners of the room or from this wall to that wall, and you run back and forth. And eventually the fires get so big that you have one choice. Really one ultimatum: stay in the room and go down in flames, or open the door, walk out, shut the door behind you, and let the thing burn down to the ground. That's what it feels like a lot of times when you're just like back and forth and this fire and that fire, and you're just like, what in the actual fuck is happening to my business? I thought we've had these conversations. I don't understand and it's a clarity issue. It's a process issue. It is a personnel issue. It's a lack of clarity issue because I don't know what we're aiming for. And so somebody's over there playing with matches because fires keep getting started. It's like, okay, we got to get upstream from that. We got to either take the matches away from them, or we got to get more responsible person that isn't just going to be starting fires everywhere. And both are hard, because when you have to limit somebody's capabilities to do damage in your company, you're wondering why they're there in the first place.
Well, that's where I'm at. It's like, and just to preface it, I don't want to go too deep into it, but basically a lot of the people that are still with me are people I've hired a long time ago. And I know I messed up from that hire. And I think like when the nonprofit, which I think is where I'm really getting thrown off, is with the nonprofit is about believing in people and training them and showing that there are people that exist in this, in the Philippines or in global talent that can compete with like, Americans or whatever, who really gives a shit, who pays attention to details, who doesn't really make a lot of mistakes, who takes pride in their work, who's confident. And I guess like I'm just burning out so much and like believing in the nonprofit, even though I don't want it to go away, that it's like am I burning my company to the ground to like do this nonprofit, right? So I think that's it too, because obviously I could just fire everybody and just hire from the US. Like I could literally hire one social media manager from the US, and I'm probably paying about the same for the amount of people that I'm hiring in the Philippines, and they would take care of the same thing. So that's where I'm at. It's like I just don't want to give up on that. And I think that's what's causing like the biggest burnout. It's like I think if I give up on that, it would actually consume me a lot more than what it's doing right now. And I'm obviously like taking a lot of that by like just focusing on the AI. But as the more I focus on AI, the more I'm gonna have to realize that like my team is either gonna have to step up and learn AI because it's actually really freaking good and it's replacing a lot of what they're doing already. Or, there's all of these things where I'm just like, what do I do? Like I'm just like I feel like I'm starting over. To be really honest, from 4 years ago, I feel like I'm starting over.
I get that. I actually get that. I've been running through similar iterations. Like, wow, I feel like I'm having to regroup and start over, even though I've changed nothing about my business model. I'm always iterating. But so I get that, because you wake up one morning and you're like, I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah, feels like it.
Yeah, I'm having to restructure and retrain. So how are you doing for time? I got a few minutes, I think.
I have a half an hour, so it's up to you.
Okay.
But yeah, you were supposed to be my last meeting of the day. I don't know why I scheduled something after you. Like, it's so late. What was I thinking?
Yeah, so how far apart are we?
How far apart as far as time zone?
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock here.
It's 1 here. So
we're
13, 14.
13 hours apart. 14 hours apart.
14, yeah. We can't do math. It's like 13, 14.
Okay, I'm good for a few minutes. So I just kind of wanted to touch on a few things, because it's not one problem. You're also trying to make the charity do something and do some heavy lifting that it's not meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
In concept, it's meant to do it, but you've combined it with your business, which is great. Your business can support the charity, but you have to run them as two different organizations. I actually wasn't aware that you fully had the charity up and running.
No, I don't. Like, I'm just using the business as a way for me to prove that it can be done.
Okay. So nonprofits are tricky because they run into a lot of mission issues, because they're very mission driven. And so they're typically very poorly run operationally. I don't think you have that problem, but that's just by nature of a nonprofit. And so you have to have profit to be effective as a nonprofit. People are like, but we're a nonprofit. We're almost anti-revenue. It's like, no, you're not anti-revenue. You are 100% for revenue, because you have to make sure that you can be effective in carrying out the initiatives that you're trying to do. And because of that, they'll end up hiring a lot of subpar talent, because they want to give people a shot. And I fully believe in giving people a shot. Like, I was practically an idiot when I got my first job, because I was like, wow, I learned a lot of on-the-job skills that I didn't even know I was going to need, and people took a shot and trained me up in a lot of things. And so I'm very grateful for that. So I don't mean to sound callous and harsh, but at the same time, when we look at something through a charitable lens or a nonprofit endeavor, it will dilute down what we feel like we can and cannot do as far as corrective action, sufficient training, the output that we are allowing ourselves to expect from people, because we're like, well, if I look at this as a nonprofit, then they're doing pretty good. It's like, no, the best thing we can do for that person is actually train the hard skills, help them understand the context and the question of why it matters. And if we can instill why it matters, then how they go do it is going to be so much more effective and so much more understandable. And we can processize what we're actually trying to accomplish. So that's the mental load that you are actually in, is you are caught in this literal dichotomy of your mind is pulling you in this direction and this direction. And all it's doing is actually creating a massive vibration that's going, I'm exhausted and fuck this shit. I don't know how to get anybody to do what they're supposed to be doing because I feel like everybody woke up and took stupid pills this morning.
Okay, I thought I was the only one that thinks that way, but never mind. I said I thought I was the only one that thinks that way, but never mind.
Oh no, I literally said that the other evening. My wife and I went for a walk, and she was like, "What is the deal? Like, I almost got in 2 car wrecks today, and here's why." And then somebody else just walked out in the crosswalk, and I was like, "It feels like everybody took stupid pills today." She's like, "Yes," and I'm not even being condescending. It's just whatever practical sense. I'm not even going to call it common sense. Whatever practical sense anybody's had over the last couple of weeks, out the window, just gone. It's fine. We all have those moments. I get there a lot too. But that's so you're feeling like you're doing a whole lot, but at the same time you feel like you're starting over because you're like, what am I actually doing? I'm relying on AI. What is my team actually doing? I don't feel like the messaging is getting across to my team. They're not understanding what we're going for here, and here, just based on the 3 minutes you have shared with me so far. I'm like, okay. I think I at least see a thread to start pulling here, because there's a lot of context and expectation that you're trying to make one vehicle fit inside the other, and they're not supposed to. They can support each other, but they are not supposed to fit inside each other. So you run your business as a business. You can run your business very benevolently. You can run your business very graciously, and as like a teaching hospital, right? You're going to screw this up. It's not going to go well, but I want to train you how to have the skills to do it, right? Okay, that's important, and I'm all for that if that's the goal. But if you're like, no, I don't want that in my business, that's what this other endeavor's for, then we need to restructure some things in your business and make sure that your actual goals are clear, because right now your mind is being torn in multiple directions, and you can't lead effectively doing that.
And I think I want that. I think it's just more I've been doing it for so long. Like, I feel like I just took so much crap that I shouldn't have taken. And it's just like, I think at this point, I'm at that phase of like, what was I thinking? And every time I go down the stairs, because there's no elevator here, I think about what you said in SEN, where you're like, you know how like Tanya had like the fuck like bottle,
Yeah.
and then you said I'm out of fucks to give, and apparently so is she. And every time I think I go down these stairs, I'm like, I'm so out of fucks to give, and I just think of the two of you saying that.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I totally forgot about that. That was one of my sharper moments, because I was like, I have the same jar on my desk, except mine's empty.
Yeah, you're out of
I'm
fucks to give.
completely out of fucks to give.
So that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm gonna leave you. That way you know where my head is at. But yeah, let's schedule the next one, and we can at least make content out of it, because I think it's also important that, like, you know, the people that do these sessions with you, a lot of them will not release like content like this. And for me, I want to be as transparent as possible. That's literally what we created this for, right? Mm-hmm. It's like to be transparent in your business, to be transparent and like, yeah, I am out of fucks to give, because I'm just tired. Like, I'm so tired and burnt out. Like, you know, most people will never say that. Most people will never, ever, 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 ever fucking say that. And I want our content to reflect that too. So if you're open to it, we can do that for the next one. And then after that, we should think about guests too, though, because we haven't thought about that in a long time.
We should think about guests. I'm totally open to it, because I actually was thinking about your business specifically. In that regard, I was like, we haven't actually talked about your business at all in the last several weeks, and I want to do that genuinely, because it gives. I want to see you benefit from it. It gives you a better understanding. People don't understand what I do till they start doing it, and that's a huge flaw in my own business. But the reality is, people don't understand what I do until they start doing it. That's why I put business therapy on my LinkedIn tagline. And it really is replacing duct tape with clarity, because Right now, what you're describing is everything's duct taped together because that's the way you've been doing it since you started the business, and you didn't know better and you did the best you could and you put more tape on it and it's holding, but you're like, if I bring on more clients, I'm pretty sure the tape's gonna give, like it's gonna rip. And then I'm going to lose my ever loving mind. It's like, yep, you're totally on track. This sounds absolutely right.
Amazing. I love it. I love that I'm on track. And the thing is, like, feel free, like I said, unless I say something on there that just like really does, and I don't see that happening, but you can even, post that on your LinkedIn. I don't care. Like literally you can do whatever you want with it.
Okay. Yeah, no, as long as you're cool. I mean, whatever you want to do, but my primary goal is to make sure that you get the value you're looking for out of it. So if we make it a working session, that's my agenda, is to make sure that you actually get where you're trying to go and get those questions answered. And it's not a one-shot deal, right? It's a process. But yeah, you're at the 4-year mark in your business. That makes perfect sense. 3 years is like, I hate my life. I'm going to quit everything. Maybe I can just go join a monastery somewhere and grow vegetables that don't talk back to me. That's what I'm going to do. Like that's year 3 in your business. Year 4 is like, hey, this is working. I think, did I just start over? Shit. No, this is working. Why am I doing this? And you realize you're talking to, a mango that you drew a smiley face on that's sitting on your counter because there's nobody actually there having the conversation with you, because it's a lonely fucking island when you're running a business.
It fucking is, especially when you're traveling by yourself. I don't know if he's on my desk. Yeah, he is on my desk. Hold on.
Yes.
I travel with this little guy, mostly for travel. I never really talk to him about business, but yeah, like it gets lonely when you're traveling alone, and if you're building a business alone, and if you're doing that at the same time. So I'm just going crazy. Honestly.
Oh, I believe it. Business ownership is one of the loneliest things you'll ever do. Nobody talks about that. I've run into maybe a couple people that have mentioned it, but really nobody's willing to have a discussion about it. I want to have a discussion about it.
Me too.
Most of the time I feel like I'm going insane, and like I'll talk to somebody or I'll talk to my wife. She's like, you're literally talking to people all day. I was like, I am so lonely. You have no idea. I was talking to a good friend of mine. I have like one good friend left. And he lives in another state, obviously. And he called me because he just needed to hash some stuff out. And I said, bro, it gets really lonely inside your head, doesn't it? And he was like, it really fucking does. And I was like, I totally get that. And we were just talking about all things, like he's running a winery and doing all kinds of really cool stuff. But it's like, that's the thing that nobody's willing to admit, because they don't want to sound crazy. They don't want to sound like they're failing. They don't want to sound like they built it wrong and they fucked it up, and then everybody's never going to hire them again because this person doesn't really know what they're doing, right? So we don't say any of that.
Yep.
Step it down. We're like, no, this is fine. It's super good. Business is such a growing experience. What we're really saying is like, I'm debating whether I'd rather have toothpicks shoved under my fingernails or keep running this damn business that I do for a living. But I don't know what else to do for money, so I guess I'm going to keep doing the business.
Now, here's the thing. Right. I'll tell you what my goals are. So like, I think I mentioned this in SEN. I just want to combat what you said though. And I think for me, it's more the scale part of it. Right.
Yeah.
My goal, I was calculating it. My goal was 33K a month at 30% revenue.
I was curious about how
profit,
you
profit, 33K revenue, 30% profit, which basically ends up being like 100K in profit. Right. And I could just be a freelancer, serve our clients, serve higher paying clients, and make 100K in revenue or in profit, and not have a team, not have any headaches. So why am I choosing the latter, right? And there's a reason, obviously, and I can tell you that in the next session. But it's like, it's not necessarily just about the money. Like I'm not just doing this because of the money. If I was just doing this because of the money, I would be a normal digital nomad, a normal freelancer. Like I said, I landed my first 2 clients at over $2,000 a month. That's more than enough to fuck off around the world and live and don't do anything. And I wouldn't even work 40 hours a week. I would work like 20 hours a week. Right. Mm-hmm. So why not? Why am I doing this? Right. And so obviously I know my why, but it's like at the same time, I don't think it's always about money. I think there's a thing that drives entrepreneurs that is just so different from anybody else. And I think that's where it gets lonely. That drive of you're willing to spend 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours, 80 hours a week working like crazy, trying to make something come true, and you don't know if it's going to work or not.
Mm-hmm. Because It's for the sake of creating something. It's for the sake
sure.
of fulfilling a vision that nobody else can see. I look at entrepreneurs. Well, entrepreneur has been watered down as well because everybody thought it was a sexy word, and like, I'm an entrepreneur, and it's not sexy. It's a horrible life decision. But it's something you're kind of cursed with, or you're not, right? My brain can't stop seeing the fascination in the dumbest things. And people are like, that's not an interesting subject. I'm like, no, you don't understand what's so cool about it. And they're like, that product is horrible. I'm like, it is, but it's not about the product. It's about the potential that you could do with this, that, and that, and scale this and do this, and it changes these lives. Because you see things through a different lens, right? I heard this line in a movie because it's, dogs can't see color. So they're like, everybody thought this guy was crazy. And he's like, look, I'm not crazy. I'm just the dog that could see the rainbow.
I like that.
And that has stuck in my mind ever since, because the reality is, it was true. Like, he's like, I just saw something that everybody else didn't see. It didn't mean it wasn't there. I was just able to see it when I wasn't supposed to be able to. That's entrepreneurship. Like, true entrepreneurship. You're just the dog that could see the rainbow. And it's not easy to quantify that. And so even your metrics, actually, that number did stick in my head. You're like, I want to do 33K a month. And I was like, well, my first thought is, okay, well, how far are we from that? Second thought is, pretty far
at this point. Like, we've lost a couple of clients too, so that's also why I'm like super stressed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like we've lost quite a, like, I feel like I'm starting over. Like, not gonna lie, like, I feel like I'm starting over.
I get it. I lost 3 clients last month, not because they were disgruntled, but because one is shutting down his business, the other is literally hitting pause on everything and not doing anything anymore, and the other one was a misalignment, which I told her over and over and over, like, we're misaligned. She's like, no, you're this. I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, well, my business hasn't changed. I'm like, I know, because you're not doing the stuff that I told you to do, because you don't see me as that lens, and so your team is lost, and it's a whole thing. So only one of them was a misalignment, and the other 2, but I'm like, 3 clients, that's a huge hit for me.
So we lost our highest paying client. Actually, they're offboarding today. Like, today is their last day. So it's like, I've just been like, I'm like, man, that's why I told my team, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, lose more clients, I don't fucking care. Because it happened as soon as I stepped away. And the thing is, like, it's not like it's bad. Like, even this client is leaving us a really great review. It just felt like, what was I doing wrong? It just felt like it was just so much all at once. And, and I'm sure a lot of it is my fault as well. But I just couldn't help but, like, also blame the team for just, like, I feel like I was just having to oversee so many things. And there were so many mistakes that came out before all of these things happened. And it's just like, you can't help but think, it's like, if I was still doing it, would they have really left?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or, like, even though, like, nothing really came out that was, like, really, really bad, there were still way more mistakes that came out than, I mean, you could count the amount of mistakes I've made with clients in these fingers in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years since I was freelancing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make a lot of mistakes, like client-facing mistakes. It's super rare. Mm-hmm. And our team is just, like, absolutely insane. Like, the amount of messages I was getting was, obviously being counted 10 fingers in 4 years. So even, like, 2 in a month or 1 in a month, even if it's multiple clients, is a lot for me. It's just like they're not used to that. They're used to I'm not even used to hearing from them at all. So that's where all of the stress is coming from. Also, it's like, I just stopped giving a shit. I'm like, you lose a client, I don't fucking care. Like, I care, obviously I fucking care, but it's like, I'm just tired that I'm like, run it. If you guys can't handle it, then that's it. Like, you're gonna show me you can't handle it, and I'm done. Like, I have nothing else to give at this point. Like, it's like, it's like, I would rather just start over and just, hey, get a whole new crop of clients, do it myself, and like literally start over from scratch. That is literally where I'm at right now.
Yep, I get that. So you're actually facing a few different things.
Yeah, it's been quite a lot. Like, honestly, like, a lot of people, when I say I'm like, I'm always showing up as happy, and I am, even right now I'm smiling, but the amount of crying I've done in the last 2 weeks to a month has been a lot.
No, I get that. I really do. And that's hard. And it sucks. And that's the part about business that everybody's like, I'm so free. It's like, no, you're lying, because.
But I love it. I do love it. I will say this. I love every part of the journey. That is where I'm at. And I think that's why I keep going. Like, I know I'm never giving up because it's like, I love it. When I'm crying, I love it. When I have to figure something out, I love it. When I want to kill my team, I love it. When I love my team, I love it. You know, it's like, I love it. I love the whole process. So, you know, I think that's why I can always show up with a smile on my face. Because it's just like, even if I have to start over, like, I'm fine. Like, I know I can get more clients. That really isn't the problem. I've turned down so many clients. I had 3 or 4 sales calls in March and I turned them down.
Yeah.
So, you know, the problem is not getting clients. I can get clients. May not be my ICP, but I can get clients.
Mm-hmm. What was it you and I were going to work on as far as the clients you're turning down for the reasons you're turning down? You and I.
Oh, that's right.
You and I
Yeah.
had struck up something that we were going to start sending people one way or the other. Oh yeah, because they weren't ready yet. They weren't clear. They didn't have their stuff together. They weren't. I was going to say, Clarice, those are my bread and butter. Send them to me.
I didn't have any of those, unfortunately. One of them it's a huge manufacturing company,
Mm-hmm.
and that's still kind of in the sales cycle, but leaning towards that. The other one is in the Netherlands. So
I got a brother over there. He lives in Amsterdam.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then another one is a very established company, actually. It's just they're mulling around their social media. Like, they just want to know if they should hire a VA, a social media freelancer, or me, but they don't have the budget to hire me either. So it's like, I don't care that we just lost a client. I'm not budging on my pricing. So that was the other thing. I can't remember the other one. But yeah. But you are in my head. If I do get a client that's like really early stages, I will definitely send them your way. Promise.
Yeah, early stages, or they're not sure what they're trying to do. They're just trying to pull threads. Send them. I'll always have a free consult with them regardless. Where'd things end up with Sam?
Oh, I'm so terrible at responding to messages. I really got to talk to somebody about that. I don't know who the right person to talk to about it is, because I suck at responding to messages so much. Like, even when you sent me that message where you said, I'm not ignoring you, I completely ignore that message from you. And even my mom asks me if I'm dead all the time. And he canceled the meeting saying, let's revisit in June. And I just did not respond to the email at all. So that's where it ended up. I should probably respond to that.
Gotcha. I was curious where he was at on that. He and I kind of pushed pause on our engagement for now, just because he's regrouping. He had some personal stuff come up, so
that's also what he told me. He's like, I'm taking a sabbatical.
Yeah,
I should respond to it. It's just, man, my energy gets so depleted whenever I talk to message people. It's the messaging. If I could just have somebody standing next to me, and that's one of my dreams, to literally have a personal assistant stand next to me, and I'm like, message this person back, this is what I want to say, and they just do it. I don't have a problem with that. But the moment I pick up my phone and I'm staring at it, it's like, it's so much work for me to just get out the thing on off. I don't know.
I had 3 people get a hold of me this morning. I was working on some stuff, and I was already working, but I won't respond earlier than working hours, because I've made that mistake for years, unless I'm in a different time zone. But if I'm in the same time zone as the person, and yeah, everybody in the 7 a.m. hour started reaching out to me via text and email and different stuff. And I was like, I'm not getting back to you till after 8. But then I immediately felt like, oh my God, I was bogged down, because the task I was locked in working on, now my mind is somewhere else. Like, I got to respond to them. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I'm feeling all this pressure. And so it's the dumbest thing in the world. Cause it's like, I got 3 messages, in all honesty, 3 messages.
Dude, yeah.
But it's like every of them had a different demand for a different reason. And I was like, oh, so now it's like 9 different tasks on my radar.
I mean, mine doesn't even have to say that. It could be personal or business, and it could literally just be a simple answer, and I don't have the energy for it. It's so weird. I really got to talk to somebody about that, because that's a problem that I'm really trying to.
The brother in the Netherlands actually all the time. A week later, I'm like, oh, hey, I forgot to text you back. He's like, what's new? You do that constantly. Like, oh, well.
Same.
He's actually stateside right now, I think.
Nice.
We're in different states. He's like, where are you at? I'm like, I'm not making the drive. You're 6 hours from here.
Oh, so sad. But it is far. But
not really. We're just not that close. And he's in my old hometown, and I really don't want to go back there. So.
All right, I can see where you draw that line. I'm definitely the kind of person that will drive. That's the thing with me. It's, if you're here, I will drive. I will do whatever. But when do you want to schedule the next one?
What's good for you?
Whenever it's good for you. My next week is pretty open at this point.
Tuesday looks pretty good for me again.
Yeah, Tuesday looks good. same time or?
Sure. No, same time works. Let's do
Okay,
it.
sounds good. I'm gonna send that. I have a meeting in 2 minutes, as I'm sure maybe you do as well.
But I do now, actually.
But this was so good. I actually didn't realize I didn't put anything on here, but I'm gonna finish out everything and then I'll create the 2 and then we'll just message each other for updates. But my goal is to release this week.
Okay. As far as guests, I think we should find somebody random to have a random conversation with and see how that goes.
Like random, like not an SEN random.
Not an SEN random, or maybe somebody else outside of our chapter, somewhere else in SEN. Steven is awesome. I'm always here for a conversation with Steven. I've had conversations in one-on-ones with David. I don't know if you have as well.
I have. He's really a good person, but I don't think he should be one of our first guests.
I like David, and I think David knows his shit. I don't think David's the flavor we're going for with this.
No, it is not the flavor at all.
David and I were actually propositioned by another third party outside of SEN to do a thing. That was a non-starter. In fact, I just got the postmortem email this morning. She's like, "I'm guessing nobody's into this," and I was like, "Shit, let's get back." And I told her I was into it, and then I was like, "Oh, like the triangle did not work. It did not work well."
Yeah, it's also harder to arrange a triangle. It already is hard between just the 2 of us. So triangles are way harder.
So I was on a podcast the other week, and it was just kind of like somebody I met, had a cool conversation, had some cool talking points. She's like, "Hey, do you want to be on my show?" And I was like, "Cool, let's do that." I think I bombed the podcast, but I liked the concept. And so I was like, we should maybe just do that, like as we meet people, because I'm going to different networking stuff and different things, get people's perspectives, see if they're willing to be raw and candid and want to do it, and then just bring them in that way.
Yeah, I love it. It's also very just like, yeah, absolutely. I love talking to strangers. So, and I trust you. I trust you not to bring on anybody that you know is boring.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna. Yeah, tell me about tax law. That sounds amazing.
So, I mean, I think we trust each other enough that if we're like, yeah, we have this cool person, absolutely. Because that's literally the goal of why I wanted to start a podcast anyway. It's like to bring in people that we don't know that we can just have cool conversations with, and it widens our network and our circle. And the conversations are so easy. And, you know, and I would like for the 3-way to be longer though. I would like to keep the 1.5 hour with the one that we did with Steven. Okay. If it's going to be a guest.
3 people longer. You and I can be shorter. Got it. Deal. Agreed. All right. You got to jump. Just wanted to float that out. Reach out though. If you have questions on your business in the meantime, I mean that, just shoot me an email or send me a video chat or whatever.
You're so sweet. We'll wait on Tuesday, but yeah, if I do have any questions, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you so much.
No, seriously.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool. I'll see you next week. Bye.